If you are running Linux, I need you to open a terminal before you finish watching this video, not after, during. Because in May 2026, two critical vulnerabilities were discovered in the Linux kernel that the US government's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency confirmed are being actively exploited in the wild. And if you have not updated your system since April 29th, 2026, your machine may be vulnerable right now. This is not the Linux is perfectly secure, Windows is the problem video. This is the video where we treat Linux users as adults who can handle the truth about their platform security, take specific documented action, and understand what actually happened. Here is what you need to do right now before the explanation. Open a terminal. Type your distribution's update command. For Ubuntu, Debian, Linux Mint, and Zorin OS, sudo apt update followed by sudo apt upgrade. For Fedora, sudo dnf upgrade. For Arch Linux, sudo pacman su. For OpenSUSE, sudo zipper update. Execute the command. Let it run. If it downloads and installs kernel updates, follow the prompt to restart your machine. That is the action. Now the explanation. On Wednesday, April 29th, 2026, a zero-day Linux vulnerability known as copyfail CVE 2020-31431 was disclosed. This affects a wide range of Linux kernels distributed from 2017 through April 2026, and a public proof of concept exploit has been released. 9 years. A critical security vulnerability hid inside the Linux kernel's cryptographic subsystem from 2017 until April 2026 through kernel versions 4, X, 5, X, 6, X, and into the 7, X series. Every major Linux distribution shipped affected kernels during that period: Ubuntu, Debian, Fedora, Arch, OpenSUSE, RHEL, and all their derivatives. With more than 27 million active users and powering 75% of all web-facing servers, it's surprising that we don't hear more about Linux security issues. The vulnerability was discovered not by a human security researcher doing a manual code review. It was found by an AI system from the security firm Theory, which noticed the flaw after 1 hour of automated scanning. The irony that a 9-year-old vulnerability in one of the most heavily scrutinized code bases in software history was discovered by AI in an hour should give everyone pause about the limits of traditional security review processes. The vulnerability affects the Linux kernel's crypto subsystem and could allow a low-privileged user to gain root access on vulnerable systems by modifying the in-memory copy of a privileged program file rather than the actual disk. Copy. The exploit avoids triggering built-in file integrity checks while still affecting execution. Simply put, it violates a basic file permission rule. Certain parts of memory are supposed to remain read-only, but the bug allows an attacker to write to them via Linux's built-in data tunnel. As a result, a low-privilege user can transition to full system control without needing to run advanced privilege escalation attacks. All they need is to gain access to a non-root account, then exploit the bug. The technical mechanism: Linux's kernel handles certain in-memory operations related to cryptography. The copyfail vulnerability creates a path through which a low-privileged user, someone who has any non-root account on the system, can write to memory regions that should be read-only by modifying an in-memory copy of a privileged program rather than the disk copy. The exploit bypasses file integrity checking entirely. The kernel's own defenses do not catch it because the disk file is unchanged. The copyfail vulnerability matters for 3 main reasons. It remained undisclosed for nearly a decade until an AI system from Theory noticed it after 1 hour of automated scanning. Its impact is also broad, spanning virtually all major Linux distributions and exposing a sizable portion of production infrastructure to the same underlying risk. Upon discovering this flaw, a patch was issued, along with a detailed proof of concept and exploit details for the vulnerability. While this is necessary for security teams, it also allows anyone with malicious intent to easily recreate the exploit by simply following the published details. CISA has confirmed that CVE 2026-31431 is being actively exploited. CISA added the bug to its known exploited vulnerabilities database within just 24 hours of the official disclosure, which in itself is unusual and indicates active exploitation is confirmed, not merely theoretical. Jason Sirocco, senior fellow at Sectigo, said the CVE 2026-31431 exploit is perfectly reliable and remains completely invisible to traditional endpoint detection systems. Perfectly reliable. Invisible to traditional endpoint detection. Actively exploited. These 3 properties together describe a threat in the most severe category. Before the patches for copyfail had finished deploying across all Linux systems, a second vulnerability was disclosed, and it was worse. On Friday, May 8, 2026, the Dirty Frag vulnerability was publicly disclosed after a strict embargo regarding the vulnerability was broken. As such, and with a proof of concept exploit known, it is now only a matter of time before threat actors use this in the wild to attack systems. The researcher who discovered Dirty Frag, Hyunwoo Kim, had placed it under a responsible disclosure embargo to give distribution maintainers time to develop and deploy patches before the vulnerability became public knowledge. Standard security practice. Someone broke the embargo. Once the embargo was broken and the proof of concept was public, Kim made the disclosure official to prevent additional harm from a situation that was already out of control. A newly disclosed Linux local, privilege escalation vulnerability known as Dirty Frag, enables escalation from an unprivileged user to root through vulnerable kernel networking and memory fragment handling components, including ESP4, ESP6, and RxRPC. Public, reporting and proof of concept activity indicate the exploit is designed to provide more reliable privilege escalation than traditional race condition dependent Linux local privilege escalation techniques. The distinction from copy-fail is important. Many privilege escalation exploits depend on race conditions. They require precise timing of competing processes, which makes them unreliable in practice. A race condition exploit might succeed 30% of the time. Dirty Frag does not depend on timing. Jason Sirocco warned that the threat significance of Dirty Frag is amplified by its highly deterministic nature, explaining that because the exploit does not rely on a timing window or race conditions, attackers can achieve immediate root access with an exceptionally high success rate without risking a kernel panic. Highly deterministic. Exceptional success rate. No kernel panic risk. This is the difference between an exploit that sometimes works and an exploit that reliably works. David Brumley, Chief AI and Science Officer at BugCrowd, said that while Dirty Frag is in the same vulnerability class as copy-fail, virtually every Linux distribution is vulnerable, and the fix for copy-fail alone is insufficient. It is a reminder that vulnerability classes are rarely exhausted by a single pass, even a very good one. The discovery of Dirty Frag 1 week after copy-fail, in the same vulnerability class but through a different attack path, represents exactly the scenario security researchers worry about. Not just a bug, but a category of bug with multiple instances. If one AI pass found copy-fail in an hour, how many more are in the same code region? Dirty Frag may be leveraged after initial compromise through SSH access, web shell execution, container escape, or compromise of a low-privileged account. Affected environments may include Ubuntu, RHEL, CentOS Stream, Alma Linux, Fedora, OpenSUSE, and OpenShift deployments. A third variant appeared. A new variant of the recent Dirty Frag vulnerability, named Fragnesia, CVE 2026-46300, has been discovered. Similarly to Dirty Frag, this variant leverages a different bug to be able to manipulate Linux page cache behavior to achieve privilege escalation. 3 related vulnerabilities in the same code region, disclosed within 2 weeks of each other. The pattern is not 3 isolated bugs. It is one vulnerability class being systematically excavated. Everything above is real, documented, and serious. The honest framing requires acknowledging what these vulnerabilities do, and do not mean for different categories of Linux users. For desktop Linux users, people running Linux Mint, Zorin OS, Ubuntu, Pop! OS, or Fedora on a personal laptop or desktop, the threat from copy-fail and Dirty Frag is real, but requires a specific condition. An attacker must already have local access to your machine, or must have compromised a local user account. The good news is that threat actors must already have some level of unprivileged code execution on the target machine. This isn't that difficult, given they could use a malicious email or web-based attack to gain that initial foothold, but it does require a 2-stage attack. 2-stage. First, an attacker must get onto your machine in some form, through a malicious file download, a compromised application, a browser exploit. Then, they use copy-fail or Dirty Frag to escalate from whatever limited access they gain to full root control. The privilege escalation does not happen from the internet directly. It happens after an initial compromise. This is meaningfully different from the threat to Linux servers, web servers, SSH endpoints, cloud infrastructure, where an attacker can reach the machine from the internet without needing to physically touch it. For servers, these vulnerabilities are critical. For desktop Linux, they are serious, but require that you have already had a security incident. The practical implication? Update your kernel and follow the standard desktop security practices that apply regardless of these specific vulnerabilities. Do not download executable files from unknown sources. Keep your browser updated. Do not click links in unexpected emails. These practices reduce the attack surface that copy-fail and Dirty Frag require to become exploitable on a personal machine. For server administrators running Linux, which includes the people running the web servers, cloud instances, and organizational infrastructure that Linux powers, these vulnerabilities are in the highest urgency category. A machine that has any unprivileged SSH users, any web application that executes code, any shared access model of any kind is exposed. Apply patches immediately. The response to copy-fail and dirty frag demonstrates something important about the Linux security model that the vulnerability disclosures themselves might obscure: patches for copy. Fail were developed, reviewed, and merged into the Linux kernel within days of the April 29th disclosure. Distribution maintainers for Ubuntu, Fedora, Debian, Arch, and every major distribution pushed updated kernel packages within the same window. By the time most users saw news coverage of the vulnerability, the fix was already available through their package manager. This is the architecture that makes the Linux security model resilient despite the existence of serious vulnerabilities. The open source development process means patches go through public review, improvements happen quickly, and distribution maintainers can ship fixes to millions of machines efficiently. Administrators across major distributions need to apply patches for Python, sudo, the kernel, and web browsers immediately. Delaying installation leaves systems exposed to automated exploits that frequently chain multiple weaknesses into full system takeovers. The speed of patch availability is the Linux ecosystem's specific advantage. When Microsoft discovers or is notified of a Windows vulnerability, the patch arrives at the next Patch Tuesday, monthly. When a critical Linux kernel vulnerability is patched, the fix is available the same week through every major distribution's package manager. The copy-fail vulnerability was disclosed April 29th. Patches were available through apt, dnf, and pacman within days. For a user who runs sudo apt upgrade weekly or has automatic updates enabled, the vulnerability window was measured in days, not weeks or months. Dirty Frag's disclosure on May 8th, before patches existed, was more complicated because the embargo break created a situation where the proof of concept was public before the fix was ready. The responsible disclosure process that the embargo was designed to protect failed in this case. The community acknowledged this openly, developed patches as fast as possible, and communicated the mitigations available in the gap period. The mitigation available, while patches were being finalized, the following prevents vulnerable modules from loading and unloads active modules where possible. These mitigations should be carefully evaluated before deployment, particularly in environments relying on IPsec VPNs or RxRPC functionality. Specifically, unloading the ESP4, ESP6, and RxRPC kernel modules removes the attack surface without requiring a full kernel update. For server administrators who could not immediately apply a kernel update, this was the documented interim protection. Some Windows advocates have used copy-fail and dirty frag as evidence that Linux's security advantages are overstated. This requires honest engagement. Linux's security advantages are not the absence of vulnerabilities. Every complex software system has vulnerabilities. The Linux kernel has approximately 30 million lines of code. Complex software has bugs. Some of those bugs are security relevant. Linux's security advantages are the patch availability speed compared to monthly Windows patch cycles, the transparency of the open source development process, where security issues are discussed publicly and fixed publicly, the absence of advertising infrastructure and telemetry running in privileged contexts, the user account model that provides stronger defaults for privilege separation than Windows Home editions, and the absence of forced updates that install without user consent and have documented patterns of breaking machines. While the technical details are still evolving, the issue underscores a broader and more urgent concern. Even routine, low-level system functions can introduce critical security weaknesses when not handled correctly at scale. That observation applies to every operating system. Windows, Mac OS, Chrome OS, and Linux all have histories of serious kernel-level vulnerabilities. The question is not whether a platform has vulnerabilities. It does. The question is how quickly and transparently they are addressed. Copy-fail's 9-year hidden existence is a genuine concern about the limits of human code review. The fact that an AI system found it in 1 hour while human reviewers had missed it for 9 years is a signal about the future of security research. But the response, rapid patching, transparent disclosure, public discussion of the vulnerability class, is exactly what a healthy security ecosystem looks like. Let me close with the specific things to do in priority order. If you have not already, run your system update command now. Ubuntu, Mint, Zorin, Debian, sudo apt update, and sudo apt upgrade. Fedora, sudo dnf upgrade. Arch, sudo pacman, shu. After the update, if the kernel version changed, restart your machine to boot into the updated kernel. Running the old kernel after a kernel update still leaves you on the old vulnerable kernel. Verify your kernel version after restarting. Run unaim R. The patched kernels for copy-fail and dirty frag have been available since early May 2026. If your current kernel version reflects a May 2026 or later build date, you are on a patched kernel. If you are running a server, audit your unprivileged user accounts, review SSH access logs for unusual patterns since April 29th, and verify that the update has been applied. The combination of copy-fail and dirty frag means that any low-privileged account compromised before your patches were applied could have been escalated to root. Mitigation alone may not reverse changes, already introduced through successful exploitation attempts. If exploitation occurred prior to mitigation, malicious modifications may persist in memory or cached file content even after vulnerable modules are disabled. Organizations should validate the integrity of critical files. Enable automatic security updates if you have not. On Ubuntu and its derivatives, sudo apt install unattended upgrades, and sudo dpkg reconfigure unattended upgrades. Enable automatic upgrades for security updates only. This does not automatically install every update. It automatically applies security patches between your manual update cycles, providing protection during the gap between discovery and your next manual update session. Check your browser and application layer too. This week, Linux security updates hit every major distribution. The patches cover kernel flaws, OpenSSL vulnerabilities, and dozens of widely used services like PostgreSQL, Nginx, and Firefox. Kernel updates are the most urgent. Browser updates, Firefox, Chromium, and OpenSSL updates are important secondary priorities that should be part of the same update session. The Linux you are running after this update is more secure than the Linux you were running before it. The vulnerabilities were real. The patches are real. The update takes 3 minutes. Do it now if you have not already.